So I'm a little bit restless today, so I went over to my shelf where I keep these little trimmings, and I decided that it's time I cleared some space out and made something out of these. So I think I need to cut them to the same height, then I'll vary the width on some of them, and when I do that I'll be back and we'll glue them together and see what we can make. I didn't measure anything, I just moved the fence over and started cutting strips, changing it now and then. I just kind of put them down here in no particular order. This is going to be made like you do a dizzy bowl, but there's no way it's going to look like a dizzy bowl. It may be a bowl from a board. I'm just not certain. I'm now just using up all those scraps. What I'll do is take half of them out of the way, and take that one too, and we'll glue this up separately, and that way if I need to joint the bottom I can do that. And I may cut some of it off. I don't want it this thick for a dizzy bowl or a bowl from a board. So let's go ahead and glue half of this up, this one, and we'll get those glued together. Alright, here we go. I'm sure you've seen me glue a lot of things up, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit so it doesn't get too boring. I'm just putting some wax paper on there so I can put strips of wood on there, clamp it down so it's nice and flat on that piece of melamine. That way it's just a lot easier to work with. Alright, I'm going to catch up on what I just did. I bandsawed this disc. I've hot glued it to another disc that I've kept for quite some time, and it has a recess in it. So I'll use it for mounting pieces, and because it's hot glued on, I can remove that and keep this piece. So I'll make this round, I'll make this flat. I think at this point in time I might make 1 or 2 cuts in it. This is sort of a guinea pig for something else I've been working on for a couple of months on and off in between turnings that I've been doing. So let's go ahead and do that, and you'll get kind of an idea of what's coming in the future. So we'll flatten it off with a 5/8 bowl gouge to start, and then we'll make that round, and and we're going to see if we can set this up and slice it. All right, 5/8 bowl gouge, about 750 RPM. Okay, I think we got it. I'm going to move over to the bandsaw. I've got to set a few things up, and we'll see if we can make this happen. Alright, I have this set up in my bandsaw slicing fixture, which is adjustable this direction. So we're going to see if we can slice this off around 1/4 inch thick. So this seems like it's cutting pretty good, but I come to find out a little bit later that it's not exactly what I wanted. So what I'm going to do here is rotate it just a little bit, and after I cut the rings, then I'll be rotating those the same amount. So after this clamping process, I think I should have got my glue press out, or actually used an automotive press that I have. Just got to put a lot of pressure on there to get that board flat. Okay, I've got the disc glued up. I'm going with 2 layers. After looking at my drawing and seeing the cuts I'm going to make, I think that's going to work out. That is a piece of sapele. I've turned a dowel on it because it's going to go all the way through this hole. So I think it's going to look like it's supposed to be there. Hopefully. I don't know. This is just kind of a somewhat of an experiment, the way I'm doing this. I'm doing this, if it works out, I have plans on a much more elaborate turning with, instead of scraps, I'll use special woods in it. So, I'm going to get that clamped up against there and probably just let it sit till tomorrow. We have a lot going on right now, and I barely have time to do this. Okay, got to pick the correct side, and I probably should get some glue on that dowel so it slides somewhat easy. Okay, this is the way I chose. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. See if I can get back on this tomorrow. Alright, I've got it set up to cut rings, and honestly, I don't know how this is going to work out, if it even will. It's been kind of a problem all along. I only ended up with 2 rings, but that's okay. And I didn't even attempt to make anything with symmetrical pieces on the center line. It's not really going to be what you'd call a beautiful dizzy bowl. It's going to be a very dizzy looking bowl. So we're going to go ahead and try to finish it. Cut this ring and see if we can make something out of this. I don't like to spin the lathe real fast. It heats the tool up. Somewhere around 600 works good. I think that's it. Alright, and I left this a little big because I didn't know where I'd end up, so I'll just turn a little of that base off of there and we can get this ring off. Alright, that's it. Okay, that's kind of about the size of base I wanted anyways, but I wasn't sure where we'd end up, so I made it a little extra big. So now it's a matter of stacking these. And we're gonna have something. Have to figure out how to make it look like it's supposed to go together. So the idea here is to take each ring that I cut and rotate it the same amount. It will just end up being a lot smoother looking. Okay, that should do it. Alright, the glue's dried for at least a week, so I can go ahead and try to get a shape on there. This is only a 1/4 inch thick right here, so we're just talking about cleaning it up. And this is kind of an experiment to try to come up with an easier way to glue up a dizzy bowl, even though this isn't glued up like one would be. But I didn't want to cut up some really nice wood and find out it's not going to work. This still can be a pretty cool looking bowl, but I can't promise you that's what's going to happen. So I've got a 1/2 inch bowl gouge sharpened up, and I think we're turning about whatever we want, just about 820 RPM. Interesting. Yeah, it just has a little bit of offset down in here. So I just have to cut this until it cleans up and then call it good. Alright, as long as I don't cut any more here. Or very little there. Okay, that's got the offset like this. Alright. That's good. Yeah, I wasn't liking it too much before because this wasn't broken up here and it all looked the same there, so that doesn't look too bad. I think I'll get set up and we'll cut the back side. I'm going to use this disc here up against the piece just for add some support, and because it's thin it'll take the harmonics out of it. Alright, we'll set up on the back side and I'm just going to try to clean this up and measure to see where we're at. We're not going to be able to put a lot of shape on it, but maybe a little bit. So same 1/2" bowl gouge, same 800 RPM I think, 830. I think I probably should do some measuring. Okay, so we're maybe 3/16 here. A little bit more, so yeah, it's not terrible. Not too terrible. Alright, better than I thought. Let's see how the scraper does right here. So I really got the shape on it, I just want to clean it up. I think I'll sand that. Okay, speaking of sanding, I think we reached the stage of sanding this. But I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. I came out here this morning knowing it's time to sand. I've kind of looked it over, and last night I was thinking, wow, I don't know, this just might not be worth finishing, but now I think it just might be. So I'm going to get my dust collecting system going. We're going to be sanding with a 2" disc, 120 grit, lathe running forward at 370. I put the lathe in reverse for sanding on this side, same RPM. I'll get it sanded up to 400. We'll come back and probably spray some lacquer on it. So I'll see you then. Okay, it's time to put some finish on it. I've got it sanded to 400, and I had two options on that very bottom underneath here. One was to leave the locating plug made out of the same thing the base is, which is sapele, or cut all the way through and expose all of the sapele as the base, Well, as I was sanding, it started showing up, so I went ahead and finished sanding. I think that looks a heck of a lot better. What do you think? Anyways, I'm going to put some lacquer on it, sprayed on lacquer. There is some Paduke in there, so I like to seal the Paduke with kind of almost like overspray, and then I'll come back with heavier coats of this. So here we go. Well, it's already looking pretty good. I've been wondering if this was going to be a lot of work for nothing, I guess, but no. I think it looks okay. That's exactly what it's going to look like when we're done. I won't show any more coats on here, but I will show you that I'm going to spray the back. Let me get all set up to do that. Well, it's all done, and it's 98 degrees and getting hotter. Yesterday it was 102, so I'm going to let you have a good look at this. Then I'm going inside, and I'll tell you all about it while it's on the turntable. But that's what it looks like. It's always nice to be able to see it rotating. It is 9 inches in diameter, 1 3/4 inches tall, and the walls are 1/8 of an inch. Pretty thin, but I'm pretty happy with it, so I'll meet you inside because it's really getting hot. What I was doing here is testing a different method to glue up a dizzy bowl. I think I still have a little more work to perfect that. But the wood that I used here is sapele, maple, bloodwood, Paduke, oak, mahogany, birch, and I think one other piece I couldn't identify. And I put them in place in no particular order at all. Just looking for something random. I didn't measure the widths of them. I just kicked the fence on the table saw over a little bit and cut them the way they were. And then I glued it all together. And the glue up was kind of hard with this flat disc, so I may think about a different way to do this. Not sure that I liked how that worked out. But I finished it with 7 coats of sprayed on lacquer, and then I buffed it with Maguire polish, and I bought that for the guitar that I made, the electric guitar, and I used the special 3-inch pads and buffed it out, and I think it looks pretty decent. And no, it's not food safe. So let me know in the comments what you think of this piece that I almost didn't even finish. You're welcome to like and subscribe if you like. So till the next time, see you later.